In a small village, nestled among misty mountains and quiet rice fields, there lived a boy who wanted everything, now. He was always in a hurry, running from one thing to the next, kicking small stones on the dirt path as if they were obstacles in his way. For him, waiting felt like torture. It was a sign of failure, a frustrating pause in a world that should move at his command. When things took time, he believed they were broken. He planted seeds one afternoon, patting the soil down with restless hands. The next morning, he rushed to the small patch of earth, expecting to see green sprouts bursting through. But there was nothing, just the same dark, silent soil. He sighed heavily, his shoulders slumping, and threw himself onto the grass in frustration. He didn't understand. He had done the work, hadn't he? But nothing grows under pressure, nothing blossoms from sheer force of will. An old farmer, his face lined with the wisdom of many seasons, noticed the boy's struggle. He walked over slowly, his bamboo stick making a soft tapping sound on the path. He knelt beside the boy's patch of dirt, his movements calm and deliberate. "Why the long face?" the farmer asked, his voice as gentle as the morning mist. The boy, full of frustration, gestured angrily toward the soil. "I did everything. I planted the seeds, I watered them, but nothing grows." The farmer simply smiled, a kind and knowing look in his eyes. He reached into a small pouch tied at his waist and pulled out a single, tiny seed. He placed it in the boy's open palm. The boy lifted the seed, confused. "Plant this," the farmer said softly, "and this time. Don't rush." So the boy, a little skeptical but willing to try, planted the new seed. He dug a small hole in the soil, but this time, he did it with a bit more care. He placed the seed inside and covered it gently. He even watered it lightly, his movements slower than before. For the first time, he actually slowed down, but old habits don't change quickly. He sat down and stared at the soil, expecting something to happen. Hours passed. The sun moved across the sky, casting long shadows across the fields. Nothing happened. "Why isn't anything growing?" he muttered, throwing a small stick in frustration. From a distance, the old farmer simply observed, a faint smile on his face. The next morning, the boy returned. The soil looked exactly the same. The wind blew softly over the field, a quiet, steady whisper. Patience is quiet, and he wasn't used to quiet. He waited and waited until, exhausted by his own impatience, he fell asleep beside the patch of earth. Nature, it seemed, moved at its own pace. A gentle hand on his shoulder woke him. It was the farmer. "Come," he said. "Let me show you something." The farmer led him to the village garden, a place bursting with life. There were rows of thriving plants, their leaves green and healthy. The farmer pointed to a large, full-grown vegetable. "These took months," he said, his voice calm. The boy's eyes widened. He hadn't expected that. The farmer knelt and dug into the soil beside a plant, revealing a complex network of roots. "What grows strong grows slowly," he explained. He picked up another seed from his pouch. "Do you know what lies beneath the soil?" The boy shook his head. "Work you cannot see." The farmer moved to a small sapling and poured water over it gently. "Roots grow first, deep, quiet, hidden. If a plant rushed to grow before its roots, it would collapse." For the first time, the boy didn't argue. He just listened. The farmer looked at him warmly. "Life is the same. What comes slowly stays." The boy nodded, a flicker of understanding in his eyes. But he still needed to learn it for himself. They returned to the spot where the boy had planted the farmer's seed. The farmer pointed at the soil. "Trust what you cannot see." This time, when the boy watered the patch, he did it gently, with a newfound respect. He returned every day, not to demand results, but just to be there. He stopped staring at the soil and started living. He would sit under a nearby tree and read a book, or simply watch the clouds drift by. When the rain came, he built a small roof of leaves to protect the spot. On a windy day, he even shielded the patch with his own body. He was caring for it. Quietly, the farmer watched from afar, saying nothing. The boy was learning growth takes time and patience. Then one morning, after a final night of gentle rain, the sun rose, casting a golden light across the field. And something had changed. A tiny, vibrant green sprout had broken through the soil. The boy gasped, his eyes wide with a pure, simple joy. The miracle he had waited for finally appeared. The farmer arrived, smiling softly. He didn't need to celebrate or say, "I told you so." The boy pointed proudly to the sprout, his face beaming. "See," the farmer said, his voice full of warmth. Nothing grows before its time. The boy had changed. He stood taller now, his energy calmer. He continued to water the sprout gently, no longer demanding results. He learned to enjoy the process itself. Growth became a quiet joy, not a desperate race. The sprout grew into a tiny plant day by day. One afternoon, the farmer and the boy walked together through the fields, and the boy realized something profound. Patience isn't just about waiting, it's how you behave while you wait. He started to notice the world around him, the birds building their nests, the slow, steady flow of the river, the way the wind rustled the leaves. The world was always moving, just not rushed. He stopped and gave the farmer a small, respectful bow. And he finally understood. The farmer patted him on the shoulder proudly. "Patience grows roots first," he said, "and then everything else. When life feels slow, when you feel stuck, trust the roots forming deep beneath you. Not all growth is visible, but all growth matters. Your time will come, just stay patient." Thank you for watching.